Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Manshed. Now, I recently uploaded a video on some new cameras, CCTV cameras that I've just installed to replace me older original ones that I'd had about 5 years. They're Hikvision colour view cameras and they're absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen that video, there'll be a link at the end of this in the end screen, and I'll put one in the description below as well. So check that out if you haven't seen how good they are, particularly at night. But what I wanted to make this review on, or this video on, was Hikvision's own VS player. Now, as you probably know, or don't know, whatever, Hikvision, once it's recorded its files, if it's detected movement or whatever, and you want to view them back, you can do so sat at the NVR and do it that way, or you can do it via a browser, Internet Explorer, and access all the recorded files for the past month or whatever, depending on how big your hard drive is. Now, you can view them that way, but if you want to view them somewhere else, if you want to put them on a USB stick for somebody else, police or something, you can only view them with Hikvision's own viewer called VS Player. And you can also use VLC Media Player. Now, VS Player is fine in as much as it's okay to view the files. Why Hikvision have to put their own encoding on so that it can't be just record as a normal MP3 and be visible in every viewer, I don't know. But if you try and open one of their files in Windows Media Player or Power Director, I've got Power Director 14 and 18, they won't have it. If you try and put one of the files into Premiere to edit, it doesn't recognise it as a file. So you've got to convert it into a normal MP4 or any other file you like after you've downloaded it. Now, VS Player has got its own encoder on it, but as you'll see shortly, it's pretty rubbish. It's got hardly any features, and for some reason it has just started leaving horrible artifacts after it has converted the file. Now, when I did that video on the colour view cams, I only did it last week and it seemed to work great. I hadn't used Handbrake then, which I'm going to show you shortly. I used VS Player to transcode all the files into normal MP4s, and it didn't leave any artifacts. Suddenly now, I don't know why, it started leaving these artifacts. I haven't changed it. I've tried 2 different versions of VS Player, an older one and a newer one. I've tried messing about with the bit rates and things, but no matter what I've tried, it leaves these horrible artifacts, which obviously would really annoy me because it's unusable, as you'll see. But I've since found another program called Handbrake, and it's a free video converter, and it's absolutely fantastic compared to VS Player. Again, as you'll see shortly, it's in a different league. It's got far more formats it'll convert into. It's far nicer to use, much nicer interface, hugely faster, and it's just better in every respect. So I'm not really bothered what is causing the problem with VS Player, because I'm not going to use it anyway. And I tried a few different ones. I've got them written down here. I tried a few different free, I just typed in free video converter, and I tried one called Prism. It worked, but it was really slow, and way slower than VS Player. There was one called Wondershare Uniconverter. Now that was fast, but the free version only does a third of your video for you to try it out, and then you've got to buy it. There was one called WinX HD. Again, that was fast. That was a nice interface on that, but it only does 5-minute vids on the free version. But that isn't really a problem, because anything you that your cameras have recorded aren't likely to be longer than 5-minute little videos. It's usually just, a few seconds or a couple of minutes here, there, and everywhere that you'll want to download. So the 5-minute restriction on the free version isn't any real problem. But if you did want to convert a video longer than 5 minutes, you'd have to buy the paid for version. Then there was one called Any Video Converter, and that was good. That was very fast. That seemed to be fully featured, free, and you can actually do it with VLC, but for some reason it didn't seem to record the audio. I tried a couple of different settings, recording with MP3 as an output and something else, but after a couple of attempts I still couldn't get it to record audio. It's probably something I'd set wrong in it, I don't know, but maybe a workaround. But again, I'm not too bothered because I've got Handbrake working great. So without any further ado, I'll show you now the difference. I'm starting off with actually downloading the footage from your cameras through your web browser, ready to convert, just in case you haven't done that or you don't know how to do that. And then we'll go through how VS Player does it and the horrible artifacts I'm getting, and how Handbrake does it as well. And I'll let you be the judge, so we'll get straight into that now. So first of all, we'll run through how to actually download from a recorded video. So we'll start off here on the live view screen. And as you can see, there's a view of the 4 cameras there. What we need to do though is find out where the downloaded files, once we've downloaded them, are going to end up. So if you click on the top there on configuration, and that brings this screen open, and then click at the top there, local, and here are the folders I've created on my D drive where it downloads various things too. There's download videos, download pictures and that. What that means is the download recordings, if you click on that little video camera icon at the bottom from a live view screen, you can record there and then video, and again capture a still picture, and they all end up in various folders that you've told it where to put them. So the one we're interested in is the download files too. So that's where I've created it, the downloaded files, and all these others are for the stills and the recordings from the live view. So the way we actually download it is you would do it from the playback. So you click playback there, and you select the camera that you want to download the footage from. So I've clicked front west there at the top. And if you want to actually sort of check out the footage, if you click play at the bottom, it always starts from midnight, or the nearest file to midnight. So just shortly after midnight last night, you can see that car drive past there. And then you can move the timeline around. Say it always starts off on the actual day we're on now at midnight. So you'd move it to the left and right. But as you can see, the recorded bits, the pink bits, are very, very small. That's because we've got the timeline stretched fully out for quick location. So you would move it to roughly where you're interested in, say 10 o'clock or whatever on the times, and then you click that little plus button there, and that expands the timeline out. So it makes it a bit more easy to accurately pick a particular spot to the minute or even the second. You would zoom right in on that. So if we click there, the bottom left, that'll turn it to full screen, and we can see a truck drove past there at 10:24 this morning. So we'll pick that as the bit of footage we're interested in, 10:24, and today's date, the 6th of June. And if we click stop, if you click that little button there, the bottom right there, download, and then this screen comes up here. Now always check, they're all the downloaded files on the right there, but if you check there that the camera selected is the camera that you're interested in downloading footage from. It doesn't just default to the one you're viewing. It sort of tends to leave it on the last one you downloaded from. So make sure you're downloading the one you're interested in. We are indeed interested in the front west camera, so that's okay. And once you've got that selected, you then, if you click here, this is the start time. So we're interested in 1024. So if you wanted to search between a certain period, say half an hour, you can click start and end times and it would select all the files between them times. But we're just interested in that one file that it recorded at 10:24ish this morning. So if we click there, 10:24 at the bottom is roughly the sort of time of the video we're interested in. So if we click there to start, and this little box comes up, so you can immediately click 12, or you could have typed in 12. And then when you click the minutes, it's in 5-minute increments. So if it's a particular minute you're interested in, you can type in there 10:24, click OK, and that's the time it'll start searching for downloaded files. And then the end time, again, we're just interested in that one file, so keep that as 10:24 as well. Type in 10:24. You can leave the seconds the same, and that's going to search everything between 10:24 0 seconds and 10:24 and 59 seconds. Click search, and there it's just the one file there that it's recorded between 10:24 and 16 seconds and 10:24 and 38 seconds. So that's the file we're interested in. Select that there and then click download. It's only a small file, so it'll do that almost immediately. Once we've done that, we're finished with the downloading screen once you've selected all the ones you want. If we now navigate to that folder that we told it to put them in, CCTV footage, downloaded files, and it itemizes them all into date order. This is the date you're downloading the file. So that's today's date. And that's one I did earlier. That's the file I've just downloaded there on the right hand side. You could rename that to like truck driving past or something to make it more obvious. But if I try and open that now, just double click with the standard sort of TV and movie player in Windows, it won't play. It doesn't recognize that. Even though it's an MP4, it doesn't recognize it. So let's try with Windows Media Player. And again, it can't play the file because Hikvision have encoded it with their own encoding routines or whatever, and there's hardly anything will play it. Again, play with Cyberlink, Power DVD, and again, nothing. So you're stuck with Hikvision's own player, VS Player, or VLC Media Player. You can use VLC Media Player. So we've downloaded it there and we've got the file ready to convert. So I'll now run through how we convert it. Right, I've got these few things open on the screen just to demonstrate everything. Now, first of all, I'm just going to show you that I have no problems whatsoever with VS Player playing a file. So if I drag this file into it here, from East after reboot, as you can see, it's recording, it's playing the video and the sound perfectly. So we'll stop it there. But what I want to show you is what happens when I get it to convert the file. Now, to convert a file in VS Player, you click here at the bottom on this toolbox symbol and click convert. And then from there you can either click that plus sign at the top and then search in the normal way, browse for the file you want, or again you can just drag it into the conversion screen there. Now at the bottom here is where we select the format. So as you can see on VS Player, there's hardly a choice of any. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different formats. So MP4 is the one we want. This is telling you the original format here, all the info. It's 2560 by 1440. It's from the new colour view cameras, the audio and everything. And this is telling you what it's going to convert it into. The saving path is where you want it to save. Obviously, I've created a folder, which I'll show you in a second. So once we've chosen what format we want to convert it into, so MP4, you can just, there's hardly any options on VS Player other than the few that I've shown you. You can't, that's it, H.264, you can't select 265 or anything. But we'll leave that as that for now, and we'll click start. And when I click start, I'm going to start my stopwatch. So click that now. Now, as we can see on the left here on HW monitor, the processor is hardly being utilised. Look, we're only up to 13%. So it's not taking advantage of all those 8 cores and 16 threads of me Ryzen 1700 processor. And if we scroll down to the GPU utilization here, that's just hovering around at 25-30. It's showing the odd sort of 75 because I'm running Premiere in the background. Right, that's completed in 46 seconds. So if you remember that, it took 46 seconds to convert that file. Like I said, there's no option on here to utilize your graphics card. As you can see, the graphics card is still the same because I'm running Premiere in the background recording this audio track. But the graphics card isn't being used, and it was hardly taking advantage of all these threads in that. So 45 seconds to convert that, which is okay. It's livable with. You don't do this all the time, as long as it created a decent result. But as we shall see, these are the VS Player converted files. This is what I've just done now. And if we watch this, it'll open with normal play now because we have converted it to a normal MP4. But if we click it and watch it, just look at that. That's horrible. Yeah, terrible. That banding, and for some reason it started doing that, and I just cannot stop it doing it. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So yeah, when I compiled the footage ready for the video I made on the colour view cameras, if you haven't checked out that, click on the link here in the upper corner, and that's a full review on some fantastic cameras Hikvision make that can see in the dark. And when I used VS Player for that, it was fine. It worked fine. Didn't have any artifacts or any banding or anything. But for some reason, since then, just a week ago, it suddenly started doing this horrible banding. It must have known I was going to be doing this video, saying how rubbish it was. So, but that's what happens now, and I've tried all sorts of different settings, different bit rates and everything, and it just won't have it. It does that all the time. But as you saw, it's a clunky interface anyway. It won't take out, there's no facility for it using your graphics card. It doesn't even use your processor properly, and it took 46 seconds to convert that file. So let's now try a different one called Handbrake. Okay, so this is now Handbrake. Now again, you can just drag a file into it, I found that the easiest, or you can search for it with these on the left. If you're doing a whole batch of files, you'd use that one. If you're just doing a single one, just click on that and then search for it in the normal way. But again, we're just going to drag it over as before. So there you can see we've dragged the file into there. Now there's various presets on Handbrake. You can click create your own custom presets, general ones, which is just very fast 1080p at 30 and various frame rates, and all these web ones for Discord, Vimeo, Gmail, certain devices, the ideal format for these: Apple, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, RockU, Trosca MKV containers, and production. And I found that if you click production standard, that sets it at the same, seems to set it at the same settings as the original footage. Now, the one good thing about Handbrake is it can utilise your graphics card. If we look up here under Tools and Preferences, under Video, when it says Encoding, we can tick. Now, I've ticked Allow the use of NVIDIA NVENC encoders because I've got an NVIDIA graphics card, an RTX 2060. If you've got an AMD Radeon card, that box there, I can't tick it because I haven't got one. That will no doubt be the one that you tick. That'll be open, ready for ticking. But I've got an NVIDIA GTX card, so I can click that. Now, for now, I'm going to untick that just to show you the difference in speed, and click back. And if we just click here, video, we'll just click H.264, and we're going to do it now. Here is the save as. This is down at the bottom here, the folder that I've created to save these files in. You browse to it there, and again you can set it in preferences to always put it on. That would be the default folder. So I'm going to click start again now, and just resetting the stopwatch. And if we count how much it does it this time, and this time if we look on the left hand side as it's doing it, you'll have to look quick because this is a lot quicker than with VS Player. You'll see down here when it starts, it does start utilising your processor more. I also noticed, the fans ramped up in speed when this happens. They didn't on VS Player. They just sort of stayed at the same. And when we look down at the utilisation of the GPU, you'll see that isn't being used because we haven't got that ticked yet. I'm just showing you the difference between the two. So if we now click encode, so it's now encoding it, and you can see the processor usage. I can hear the fans have ramped up, which they didn't on VS Player. You can see it's been used a lot more, into 70% on the cores here. The GPU utilization hasn't gone up really. It's like I said, this just varying around here. Right, that's it finished. That took 27 seconds. So much quicker anyway than VS Player. Just using the processor. But this time, if we go into Tools, again, Preferences, this time allow the use of the NVIDIA encoders, and this here, click there. So it's now encoded into 264, but using the NVIDIA encoder. We're still on the same production standard. And this time, if we start the stopwatch, and we'll call it something different so I can show you the two files. I'll call it fast, that one. So I can see that there's no artifacts on either of these. So again, you've got to watch this quick. I'll show you the GPU first. Look at that. If you look at these figures here, as soon as I click start, you'll notice it utilises that fully. So 29 seconds for the last one without the graphics card. Let's see how quick this one does it. Now as you can see, GPU's gone up to 100% and it's staying there, look. 100%, so it's really using the graphics card, not so much the processor. That's it, it's done it. 15 seconds. So 15 seconds only to do that. 3 times faster than VS Player, and about twice as sort of fast as we're without the graphics card. So it just shows you how much better that is. Now, if we bring up that, here's the folder with them. If we click on this one, and as you can see, no artifacts whatsoever. Sound is still fine. And picture perfect. Done in 2/3 the time that VS Player took. So if we now click on this one and this one, one, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Looks just as good as you see, and all the sound and everything is in sync, no problem. Consider properties of each one. Or 25, 46, 1480. One has got a higher bitrate than other, but they both look and sound just as good as each other. So that's the difference between Handbrake and a VS Player. And I don't know about you, but I know which one I'm going to be using. And it's the good thing about it is it's totally free. Okay, so there you have it. You saw the difference between VS Player and Handbrake, and they're just chalk and cheese, as you saw. I can't see any point whatsoever in using VS Player. It's 3 times slower. It doesn't take advantage of graphics cards. It's clunky interface, and for some reason it's leaving them horrible artifacts on the stuff I'm trying now. Like I say, why it's doing that, I don't know. I'm curious, so if anybody has got any answers why it should be leaving them artifacts, leave a message down below. That would be great for other people looking as well. and I'll try it out. I'll try any settings you suggest. But like I say, I'm not too bothered because I'm not going to be using it anyway, due to even if it produced a perfect image, because it's 3 times slower than Handbrake. So that's my suggestion. Use Handbrake, or one of the other ones I mentioned, or maybe some that I haven't even tried. So I hope it's been of some use to you. If it has, please give me a thumbs up. And there's going to be plenty more reviews in the pipeline, maybe 1 or 2 more on the CCTV cameras if something new comes up. There will be loads more tool reviews, usually from Lidl's, and there'll be more on the MG EV electric car as well, and anything else that takes me fancy. So if you do want to subscribe, just click the picture of the shed here at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.